start this real quick. Are you ready to, start with everything?
Yeah.
Amazing. So, hey, y'all, welcome to Northeast PA Story. I'm Kylie Montigney. And for this episode, we have been trying to do this episode for a while. So, I'm super excited to be able to film this episode today. And today, we were joined by Peck, who Mary is a live and virtual music entertainment for assisted living centers, libraries, senior centers, and more. Thank you so much, Mary, for coming on Northeast PA Story. We appreciate you for taking the time to chat. Everything you're doing is seriously amazing.
Thanks. Thanks. Same to you, Kylie. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Doing
much.
great.
So, I
Awesome.
know this is probably like the gist, so you probably get these questions all the time, same like just questions. But why did you kind of start doing entertainment for businesses in the area? Because I know you live between New York and Pennsylvania. So, like, how did you kind of do all that like, entertainment with like live and virtual?
Yes, we have a second home in Woodlock Springs in Hawley, Pennsylvania. So that's why when our family visits, I started doing some shows there. I was there, for example, July 4th weekend, and I did a show at Woodlock Springs honoring the veterans, and then I was at Bethany Village in Honesdale. I've also been to Ellen Memorial and to the Hawley Senior Center. So every time my family visits is when we try to coordinate the shows. And I
Ooh.
also wanted to meet people in the area, to branch out and to meet new people, and that's been great.
Like especially in Pennsylvania, like especially in Northeast PA, the people are seriously just amazing. Like, did you kind of grow up here in Northeast PA, or did you kind of grow up somewhere else?
No, I'm from Long Island. Originally, I was born in Queens and grew up in Oceanside and now live in Hauppauge.
Ooh,
Yeah, in
especially
Long
growing
Island,
up in Queens in New York City.
yeah,
New York City is my
Jackson
favorite,
Heights.
like
Yep.
my favorite place of all time. Like every time I go there, I'm like the happiest like kid on earth. I
Yeah,
swear,
we
it's
love it here.
amazing.
Yeah.
But like, what type of musical entertainment do you like to do? Whether it's at living centers and stuff like that. Like, what type of musical entertainment do you usually do?
We do a lot of Broadway. It all depends on what the audience wants. Sometimes we try to coordinate it with whatever is going on in the building. For example, if it's assisted living week or a birthday party, I do entertainment based on whatever the holidays are or the themes, if it's Christmas or St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, things like that. We do a little country, a little rock and roll. We try to mix it up. Sinatra and Elvis, they seem to
Ooh.
like that. Whatever they want, whatever they request.
Ooh, Elvis Presley, though, I love that you play
Yeah,
Elvis Presley. I love Elvis Presley. So,
Elvis is
for
awesome.
me,
Yeah.
if I hear Elvis Presley, I go crazy. But like, what's like your favorite thing to like portray? Like, where it's like musical, singing. Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Well, I like doing the patriotic songs, especially if I'm performing for the veterans. We have a George M. Cohan medley that I really like. Anything that gets them to participate, something
Hmm.
like Sweet Caroline, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, New York, where they can join in on the chorus is great. As much audience participation as possible. Because you get
Hmm.
different personalities. You have people that are just want to sit quietly and listen, and then you get people that want to be, right in the center. So you
Hmm.
work around that, but
Yeah,
anything to get them
personality is key.
participating. And a conversation is very
Mhm.
important. Like for example, you do take me out to the ball game. You ask them, did any of you play baseball or softball? Do you have family members that play baseball? What's your favorite team? Have you gone to the ballparks? And things like that. Or if you do a Broadway show medley, you ask them who their favorite entertainers are, favorite Broadway stars, what shows they've seen, what's their favorite show.
Ooh, those are good questions. I get like every time you like send us questions, I literally think about those questions in my head as you were saying. I'm like, oh, Hugh Jackman, or like they will always be in my head every time you ask those questions. But like how far like do you like generally travel for gigs? Whether it's like in New York, or
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, and stuff
half
like
an hour to an hour at the most, basically. Yeah,
that.
most of my things are local.
Ooh, like do you like what is kind of like your favorite part about connecting and performing with everything? Because obviously you would get to ask all these questions, you get to sing in front of people, whether it's like musical wise or just regular songs like Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline's a classic. Or in this New York, of course, I jam out to that song all the time. It's just I don't know why I have an obsession with oldies music, but I do. But do you have like a personal song that you like to like perform or just like to sing in general?
I love You Are My Sunshine. It makes me
Oh, that's
cry
a
a
good
lot because that's one song that they always love. And there's one gentleman who is bilingual and he'll sing it in Spanish and in English, and it's just beautiful. And he's got a beautiful voice, and it just brings everybody to tears. But it also reminds me of my children when they were small because I used to sing that song to them. So yeah, I get very emotional when I sing that song.
That
It's one of
makes
those songs
sense.
that everybody seems to like and connect to, and we found a polka version of it. So, which
Oh,
is really cool. So we do the country version, the Gene Autry version, and then we do the polka band version. So it changes it up a little bit, which is nice.
ooh, and plus because this like if you do like polka, I know like older people do love polka dancing,
I
which
love it.
my
Yeah.
grandma did as well. Like she loved
Yeah.
polka dancing. But it's like when I hear polka dancing, I just see people just dancing and just doing their own thing, which I love. But
It's
like
great.
when
Yeah.
you do like polka stuff, like do people go up and usually dance?
Yeah, definitely. Even if they don't know how to polka, or they will definitely. And even people that are wheelchair bound, like they can move the upper body. So which is good. I actually took a class in wheelchair dance. So which you learned how to do the foxtrot and the samba, and with partnering with someone in a wheelchair, which was quite interesting.
Ooh, that's very
Yeah,
interesting. I
which
never
run
knew
by
they can
people that
break your
were, yeah,
classes
they
like
were
that.
professional dancers in New York. It's very well done. Yeah, Patty
Oh, wow.
Panebianco and Kathleen. Yeah, they're
Ooh, that's
excellent.
interesting. I never knew that was like a thing. Now I need to look that up because I never knew like you can like I knew people love to dance even though they're wheelchairs, but I didn't know there are actual like type of classes that would go and have people that are in like wheelchairs like to be able to kind of dance and everything, which is
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really fantastic what they do.
yeah, definitely. And like, do you prefer doing live or virtual entertainment?
Definitely live because with virtual, it's like you don't have, I mean, you have a connection, but it's just not the same as being in the room with people.
Mhm.
And then you also have to deal with the technical issues and stuff. I started doing the virtual because during COVID, we had no choice. It was better virtual than nothing. And, I was able to see some of the people that I couldn't see in person and connect with them. But one, for lack of a better word, positive thing about doing virtual is that I was able to open it up to, people from all over the country, all over the world. We had a facility in the Boston area that I connected to, one out in Minnesota. So, and then I did like some virtual shows that were just for one particular facility, and others that I opened up to whoever wanted to join. And so that was very good. So I got to
Mhm.
connect with people you got to meet people that you wouldn't normally get to meet, outside of your own, regional area, which was a good thing.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way because like I know for me, I'm sure it's for you as well, but we just like love the in-person connection. Like
Yeah,
whenever I'm at
definitely.
like work or whenever I'm doing interviews or something in general when I'm going out with family or something, like it's just like I feel like we have a better conversation in person at like a coffee place or somewhere than a thing on Zoom or Google Docs or whatever it is. And so I feel like we have more in-person connection, but I'm also very thankful for virtual because like
Absolutely.
you get to
Yes.
meet people from different countries and states and people that you won't generally meet if they live like in your area or for say Northeast Pennsylvania, you probably wouldn't meet if it
Yep,
were
exactly.
Zoom, which is
Yep.
also very it's like flattering to see how much technology it has kind of transformed over the years and also like when you do in social media, like especially Zoom didn't become like a big thing. Well, it was a thing, but it didn't become like a big thing until the quarantine COVID happened, which is amazing to see how much people would go on Zoom and connect. And because COVID, like when you during that COVID time, like you couldn't like really have that in-person connection because people were afraid of getting sick and didn't want to get others sick. So Zoom was just a big opportunity to kind of get that like connection since you couldn't get that in person, which is like pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still used now. It's good when people can, like, for example, like us meeting, we're in different states, we're able to meet. And if people can't, like you have a meeting, you say it's Chamber of Commerce or whatever, and people can't make it in person, they're able to participate via Zoom, which is, a very positive thing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and like how do the people kind of feel when you perform or whether it's like a senior centers, libraries, etc. Like how do they kind of generally feel when you go there and do musical stuff and just like talking and chatting with them?
It's nice to see them happy. Like they like to talk about their families, they like to talk about their careers. We've been doing songs since it's almost Labor Day. We've been doing songs honoring professions. And particularly school teachers. So we have a couple of ladies that were school teachers. So like we'll do songs like School Days and I Whistle a Happy Tune from The King and I, Getting to Know You. And then they will start talking about what grades they taught, and so in anything that gets them talking about themselves and their families and their professions or their hobbies is a wonderful thing. It's nice to see them happy. I think sometimes music kind of brings people together, and it just takes your mind off your problems for a little bit. Even if it's
Yeah,
45 minutes or an hour, you just get to, you reminisce, and you get to social. It's very good for socialization, and especially for people that are kind of confined. I always feel like the people that are able to get out and go on the bus trips and do things like that, like they have more opportunities. But for some people that are like just pretty much confined to the facility because of their health issues, it at least takes their mind off their problems for a little while. And one good point you mentioned earlier about the Zoom, like for some residents that were not able to come out of their rooms, we broadcast. One facility that I worked, Jefferson's Ferry, like they broadcast into the rooms on the TV screen, so they were at least able to participate that way if they couldn't come into the common area to be
I
part of the
think that.
show. Yeah.
That's so awesome. He's like, I like what you said earlier about like music meaning lots of people. Like, I know for me, music is such a valid role in how I live every single day. It's like when I'm like stressed or need to lift me up or just need some song to at least like lift me up, I always like turn to music. It's like my sort of like meditation is probably the
Yeah.
best way for me. It's like whether I'm listening to some country music or pop music, R&B, hip hop, or um rap or whatever, like there's always a song that will mix into your emotions because like with every song it's so much different because I know that every person they like different artists, different type of music, so it's always very different for some people. I know for me, music is just always a big way to kind of keep yourself occupied and uplifted, especially during COVID times. Music kind of like you couldn't go see live performances, you couldn't go see um like arts and stuff like that. So like most of the things you would see are on TV. I know there were a lot of broadcasts that happened to see performances on TV, which was awesome. But like especially seeing live music and seeing your songs, you're like, oh my God, this is the best time of my life. Like especially after COVID when concerts were starting to get back up, it just like felt such a relief for
Oh, absolutely.
people.
Yeah. I see more people out and about. Like we go to some of the free concerts here, and we go down to the parks, and I see more people out. I think because when people were so stuck inside during COVID, that they were so happy and grateful to be able to get out and go to
Mhm.
concerts and do things.
Yeah, definitely. And then like it reminds me, I'm literally going to see a concert this weekend at the Allentown Fair. I'm seeing Keith Urban, which
Yeah,
Keith Urban's my favorite singer. And
yeah.
I see him once before last year when he came down to Pennsylvania. But I noticed like every time I like go to a concert nowadays, like after COVID, it's just like makes me so excited. It's like 3 years ago we couldn't go to concerts. Like we couldn't do that in-person stuff. So this just makes me realize how grateful we are to kind of live in a world. It's like that is open. We can do whatever we want again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, you feel
Mhm.
very grateful for the opportunities you have, for sure.
Yeah. And like the last thing I have for you is like, how do you kind of manage to kind of travel back and forth for gigs in PA or in New York or etc.? Like, how do you kind of manage to travel back and forth?
Yeah, well, the PA gigs that I do is when I'm up there visiting. So, and I have my own sound system, I have my equipment. I actually have a bag on wheels so that I have my speaker in, and some places that I go to are very small, just basically living room sized, and I really only need one speaker. My setup is pretty simple. others I need to, and I bring my, depending on what the theme is for the day, I have some costumes, I have boas and cowboy hats and all, kinds of stuff like that. I was in a group with, I've been singing since I was about 7, and I started doing shows. Well, actually, how I wanted to do this because I wanted to give back to the community. And when I was a child, I was through my parish. We started, and my high school, we started singing in nursing homes, and that's how I wanted to continue doing that. I was with a singing group, All Good Friends, for many years, and we did a lot of church fundraisers, and we did library shows, and you want to be part of the community and give back, and I feel like that's an important thing.
It is. That was the same way for me. Is that like as I got older, I was so shy when I was a little kid. I was honestly like people would know me as a shy girl holding on to my dad's
I am
leg.
too. Yes, yeah, people are
And so like
surprised.
when I like got older, I was like, I'm not that little shy girl anymore. Like I'm almost 17 years old at the end of September. So it's as I get older, I realize like I can't be that like shy little girl hiding like behind her parents. Like I just can't because that's not the way I should grow up. And so it's like and like now like the last like 2 years, I'm like I should like volunteer. So every time like I have free time, which is very rare, honestly, very rare. Like every time I do have free time, I do love to give back. Like I like whether it's like volunteering for in my hometown, or just like working with different organizations or doing interviews, highlighting people's work or many different things. Is that like anytime I get the chance to do that, it just makes me happy expressing because I'm not only sharing their story, but I'm also getting to highlight their work and other people's work, whether it's like a business or like an artist type of thing or whatever it is. Like whenever I do that, whether it's like going in person doing stuff or just doing simple interviews like this, like it's just like it just makes you happy to be able to kind of highlight other businesses and people.
Absolutely. There's a group in Long Island called RSVP Suffolk, which does a lot of good in the community. It's not just performing, but Terry Catania is my coordinator, but but they do all kinds of volunteer work. It's specifically for people 55 and over, but it's part of AmeriCorps Seniors. It's like the local Long Island chapter of it. But it's
Mm.
anything like that is wonderful. Any, that you can do. That's great that you're doing that.
Thank
Uh,
you. And same here as well. And I want to thank you so much, Mary, for coming on the Northeast PA
Thanks for
story.
having me, Kylie, and good luck with you with school and everything. And you had asked me about one thing I wanted to tell you. I want to make people feel special and loved, the
Mhm.
individuals that I worked with, and but you had asked about booking.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's right. I
have
totally forgot to ask
my
that.
webpage, and I have they can call me, or you can email me. My should I give my number and phone number out,
Yeah,
or
up to you.
oh,
Yeah.
it's Peck cmpvc@gmail.com is my email, and 631-560-0701 is my cell phone. And even if people want to connect just to share ideas, I have ideas for, different themes and whatnot. They can, collaborate with me if they want, and they can go to my webpage. So
Definitely. I'll put everything down
if I
below.
think of anything else, that's it. I have all my notes, but I think this is it. I have some places that this is my career, so I have some places that are regular that I go to every week, so I get to know the residents very well, what they like and what they don't like. And then there's other places where I fill in as needed. They have a
Mhm.
cancellation, or we need somebody to fill in, whatever, and I'm happy to go in. I,
Yeah,
I think that's it. But thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
of
Good luck
course.
with
I'll put
everything.
everything in the description below, like
Okay,
her
cool.
social media and stuff.
Sounds
And
great.
to make sure everyone get in contact with her. She's amazing. I totally recommend. And everyone, thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks,
Make sure
Kylie.
to check her out. And thank you, Mary, again for coming on and for all the amazing work you're doing. It's so much
Great,
appreciated.
and same to you, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a
Appreciate
good
it.
rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.